everybody, and welcome to another episode of Trash Takes. I'm Andrew Nukotra. You can call me Coach. You can follow me at the Real Mr. 83 on Twitter. I'm here with my co-host Al Hill. You can follow him at sensation_Al, but there's an X where the O should be. And this is Trash Takes. You can follow us on Trash Takes 3. Crazy week that we are coming off of. Baseball did not disappoint now that the real opening day actually started. For the Mets, the Yankees obviously are in the heat of it now, coming into a big series with their division rivals. But we had a lot of fun stuff, but nothing compared to the fun new segment that we're going to start kicking off in this episode. We're going to keep around from here on out, and that is cash or trash. So basically, from here on out, what Al and I are going to do is take certain statements, things happening in sports, questions, whatever it may be. They're going to bounce it off each other, and we're basically going to give us our opinion, whether it's cash, it's good, it's great, we like it, or absolute trash. We hate it, and give our reasons why, and it should be fun. So I have a few that I wanted to go off of. You have a few you wanted to bounce off from me as well. I'm going to put the ball in your court to start, because I think also it should cover a few things we wanted to touch on anyways. So I figure it's a good way to start.
Yeah, I got a couple things going on here, obviously. Most of it's baseball, because that's the most recent stuff. One important thing for me for the NFL that I think is wild. So I guess I'll start with that and then go into the more relevant topics today. First, on cash or trash, your opinion, Mac Jones to the 49ers. This is one that came about recently. We talked about the draft stuff. We were talking about we talked a bit, I think, before the 49ers trade. And we were talking about, obviously Lawrence and then Zach Wilson. I think we said at 3 something about a wide receiver to Miami, or they had just traded and some nonsense happened.
So it's Mac Jones to the 49ers at 3?
Mac Jones to the 49ers, bro. The pick itself, the idea of the pick, whether or not you think it's legit.
I'm going absolute trash. Absolute garbage. I think there's an immediate hit out on Justin Fields. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that one of the worst quarterbacks of the bunch that I think is out there is getting propped all the way up to number 3, and somehow he's the most NFL-ready quarterback after everything's done. I already have my crusade out on Zach Wilson, and I might have to put a hit out on Mac Jones as well, but absolute trash.
Yeah, very clearly, obviously coming into this, it was Trey Lance and Justin Fields at 3 and 4 in some order. Now all of a sudden Mac Jones is here, who played with the Heisman winner at receiver and Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle, 2 first-rounders and a first-round running back, and we're gonna give Mac Jones the 3. I don't get it. Cash or trash? Michael Conforto leaning into the pitch.
Cash money. I loved it. Now listen. What I will say is, if everyone attacked me on Twitter, mostly Yankee fans because you guys are obsessed, but the umpire got the call wrong. 100%, umpire blew the game. But that none of this is an indictment of Michael Conforto. The guy made a split-second, just heat of the moment, knee-jerk reaction to throw his elbow in there with otherwise he's a fooled on a slider that would have struck him out. And he got hit. It was up to the umpire to make the right call, enforce a rule. And if anything, I kind of like that built in his brain is this just need to win and win at all costs. It's not cheating, but just his natural knee-jerk reaction is to win. So, cash money.
All right, yeah. It's obviously trash, but we'll continue. Here's a fun one. Trevor Bauer is a cheater.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go with cash. It's funny. I was gonna throw that one your way as well. I'm going with cash. He's pretty much put himself out there. Listen, I would not be surprised they find something. They're trying to find something, so they're trying everything they can do to find something. So for me, I think it's cash. I think they will end up finding out that he's somehow doctoring the balls. In my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. This is a fun one for both of us. Currently you, in the past me. Dellin Betances is done. Cash or trash?
Okay. It's cash because it's true. It's trash that it's happening. Yeah, he's toast. He's absolutely toast. He's throwing like 89 miles an hour. He's already hurt through one inning. Got the shoulder impingement. You know what a shoulder impingement means. That just means doctors didn't find what the real issue is yet. You're done.
Yeah, it's a wrap for that guy. Now this one gonna kill me. I'm sure you're gonna have a fun opinion on this one. This is something that I've been thinking about just because the Yankees missed their window.
The Yankees missed their window as far as they missed their chance to be the World Series team?
Yes, to win a chip for this iteration.
Trash.
Yeah?
As much as I hate the Yankees, I think they have enough in place from a what's on paper to still make a run. You just signed your ace. You can't just sign your ace for the next 10 years like you did CC Sabathia back in 2008 and then say, nope, 1 year later we missed our window. None of your big contracts are up yet. They're close, but they're not up yet. And you still have some young pieces, and it seems like every year someone fills in a void that you didn't expect. So no, I'm going to say trash on that. However, I hope it's cash.
Yeah. Just something to think about. Obviously, as a Yankee fan, I'm hoping it's not true, but they don't seem to be firing on all cylinders. Judge may or may not be hurt. Again, we don't know. Luke Voigt's dead, and their pitching is, and their bullpen seems to have some holes in it now. Whereas before, they could go 4 innings in the bullpen, and you would assume that they were going to throw 4 no-hit innings in the bullpen. So it seems like that's a little bit sketchy. Why don't you throw some stuff my way, bro? Let's hear it.
It's actually a good transition there because hold on. All right, so I have a few for you. You with me?
I'm here, bro. Here for it.
Okay. So right off the bat, with all the injuries in his career so far, Yankee fans are now considering not extending Aaron Judge when his time comes. Cash or trash?
That's trash, bro. Whether or not he gets, the Bryce Harper treatment where we're talking about $500 million for an extension, probably not. It's going to be a much more team-friendly deal. There's going to be a lot of people talking about his injury history, including on the Yankees. His market is not probably going to be as big as we thought it was going to be when he hit 50 home runs his rookie season. But yeah, he's definitely still a player that's that, if we're talking about it, he's still a player that deserves that level of respect, right? He's going to go out there, he's going to hit the ball to the moon, and, if as long as, he stays healthy, he's going to hit 270, 30, 100, something like that. So that's trash for now.
I don't think any fans are concerned about his ability of what he could do. It's just about staying on the field. So I think they're getting annoyed. So that's been circulating all over Twitter. It's kind of 50-50 split. So, okay. Number 2, Aaron Hicks batting third in the Yankees lineup on a regular basis. Cash or trash?
Fucking kill me. Kill me. This guy is the worst. I don't understand. Listen. All right. Aaron Hicks, I saw him swing the other day. He looked lost at the plate, and that at bat was a strikeout that made him 2 for 20 at the plate. 2 for 20. Yeah, this guy batting 2 for, listen, I understand, he plays a good center field, but so do a lot of other people, and him throwing the ball from from center field to home on a line to get somebody out once every 45 games is not worth having him in the lineup being an automatic out, or today it's either a freebie out or he hits a home run and pimps it real hard. So get him out of the lineup.
He shouldn't even be in the everyday lineup.
Oh, dude, he should. I said this before. I said this before that Clint Frazier needs to be the dude. It needs to be Clint Frazier, Aaron Judge, and anybody else out in the outfield. Whether that's Giancarlo or I can't even think right now.
Yeah,
just get Aaron Hicks out of here.
The excuse for Hicks is that he gets on base and they like breaking up the 700 righties that you have in the lineup. But I think you're right. Batting third is a little absurd.
I feel like that. I feel like that. That's something else. The lefty righty thing I feel like is a lot worse with lefties than it is with righties. Righties, there's way more righties. You're gonna face righty more often than not, right? And typically the idea is if you're a righty facing a righty, it's harder for you to hit than righty versus lefty and lefty versus lefty versus lefty versus righty. That was a lot of words.
I think managers overthink it. You don't need to do the every other one.
No, I think it's a lot, and obviously the lefty specialist is way more common than you don't hear righty specialist. It's not a thing. Right-handed hitters are going to hit. Doesn't matter who they're facing, and if they happen to be facing a lefty, good for them, right? That's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, keep that in mind. We're going to touch on something like that later. Number 3, you kind of threw it my way as well, but this is like a little different way to word it, I guess. Trevor Bauer deserves to be MLB's #1 target for foreign substances on baseballs. He deserves to be the target.
No, that's trash. So I think Trevor Bauer is a hero. I think that the whole foreign substance nonsense is just that. It's nonsense. Doctoring a baseball, way different. As far as I'm concerned, if you're going to go out there with a nail file and mess with the integrity of the actual ball, get that out of here. But if you're telling me that this guy, we can't, I understand we've talked about the shift and pitchers being at an innate advantage. Bro, if the guy wants to use pine tar to get a slightly better grip, go ahead. Let everybody do it. As Trevor Bauer has already told us, everybody already does it. It's just the bad ones that only the idiots get caught, apparently, right? So Trevor Bauer has told us, that guy's an idiot. Trevor Bauer has told us outright that he cheats. He said himself, nobody's spin rate just goes up 300 or 400 RPMs in a season, and his did exactly that, and he pitched to like a 1.6 last year and won the Cy Young. So he's cheating. Everybody else is cheating. Let them cheat. Make it legal. Who cares? Much different than steroids. Much different than doctoring the ball.
Why? Wait. Why is doctoring the ball bad? Because the ball does unnatural things after when you do it. The same thing happens with foreign substances.
No, if you're using pine tar to get a grip.
The batter's like, we want the pitchers. This was like one argument ever, and people use it. They die on this hill. Like, we want them to have better grip on the ball. We don't want them hitting us with 100-mile-an-hour. Yeah, that's bullshit. I'm not going out there fucking throwing bars of soap, and you think you're gonna get nailed in the head. The guy knows how to pitch. Trust me, he knows how to throw a fastball down the middle if he really wanted to. He doesn't need pine tar to get a good grip on the ball. It's to cheat. It's to get good bite on the ball. It's to strike your ass out. They don't need any more help. So no, we can't just be like, ooh, okay, let them do what they want. So if he is cheating, hang him.
I mean, go for it. He definitely deserves to be in that spotlight. So I guess in that aspect, it's cash. But I think him, being the hero we all deserve and coming out and saying like, hey, everybody cheats. Look at this guy. He's cheating. And if anybody's RPMs go up by 400, they're cheating. Also, I'm cheating, but you're not going to catch me. And now, of course, because, he made it so vocal in the offseason, they're going to take every baseball he ever touches and check it for whatever.
All right. So let me break it up a little bit. We'll go back to baseball, but we're going to go with football real quick. Jets traded Sam Darnold.
Cash
or trash?
Cash, bro. Cash money. Cash money,
Whoa.
Bro. It's backwards, but just endure the suffering.
Just endure the suffering. JETS.
That's cash, bro. They were always going to go Zach Wilson. At first, the rumor was Sam Darnold's trade value was like a first, and then it was like a third or a fourth. So for them to get a second next year, I think, not this year, a second next year, and then a fourth and a sixth this year or something like that, go for it. You're always going to take Zach Wilson anyway, right? Now you're going to take Zach Wilson at 2. You got the extra second next year. Now they have 7 picks in the first 2 rounds of the next 2 drafts. You got 2 firsts this year, 2 firsts next year, 2 seconds next year, and a second this year. You're going to have all the ability to just load up around Zach Wilson. So you're going to put Zach Wilson. Obviously, they signed receivers this year. Receiver looks pretty good. They're going to have the ability to go like guard or like guard corner or guard running back. Running back class is really good this year. I'm a big Javonte Williams fan out of UNC. That guy's a freak. And he's going to be available in like the second round. He's the guy that's going to make people miss. Give me a guy like that and a guard for Zach Wilson this year. I'm a happy camper. They got way more than I think a lot of people thought at this point in the process. I think at first a lot of people thought Sam was going to be worth a haul. I think at this point, this is a haul for Sam Darnold. Definitely worth it cash.
They got more than than the second that they thought they were going to get. And now people are saying maybe the Panthers might trade out of 8 because nothing they get there is what they need, and they can get all the picks they just traded for Sam back, so it's as if they got him for nothing. But that's just a weird hypothetical. I'm just saying that the whole story of Sam Darnold is sad, and I want an apology from every Jet fan that posted a picture or a hashtag or a tweet that said, "Thank you, Giants," when we took Saquon Barkley in 2018. Because thank you for what? You're back in the same position as we were 3 years ago. But it is what it is. A totally different scenario. If you're talking about the return from Sam Darnold, yes, that's a good one. And if you're talking about your future moving forward, I think the Zach Wilson or another quarterback thing was inevitable. So, all right, you're right.
Yep.
Now, back to baseball, back to the Yankees. Cash or trash, Gleyber Torres is not a major league shortstop. Or I should say, his days at major league shortstop are numbered. Trash or trash? That's
trash. I understand he was second in the league in errors last year. He's not having a good start to this season. I think it's all a mental thing, and at some point he's going to come around. And his bat is very clearly there. His bat, his base running are all there. His fielding was always highly touted. So for him to have, a bad 60-game season last year, which was, an anomaly, and now this year he's starting off poorly, I don't think you can base the entirety of his career off a 60-game season last year and the start of this season, right? I just feel like it's way too fast, way too much, way too early, especially for a guy that we were like, who's Jeter? Obviously, I didn't say that because I'm not a complete moron. But there were a lot of people who were like, what's Jeter anyway? Look, we got Gleyber now. And it's like, now you're going to be like, he made one too many errors. Bro, Rafael Devers had 14 errors in 60 games last year for the Red Sox, and he's still an all-star. Let's slow it down.
No, but Devers is, that's still, jury's kind of out on him. He's known as a very bad third baseman to the point where they're going to have to make a decision there. Convert him to first base. Just have him as a DH and stuff like that. So, listen, I'm not saying that Gleyber has to get out of the league, but there are a lot of Yankee fans that are fed up with the defense. I saw plays the other day throwing balls in the dirt 50 feet short.
That's a mental thing, 100%, bro. That's the Dellin Betances can't throw to first base thing, because those balls, we all know that Gleyber Torres has the arm to make those throws, and he is like two-hopping a throw from shortstop to first base. Like, dude, figure it out, throw overhand, work with an infield coach, do something. But those throws were horrific, and they cost the Yankees a game.
Yeah, they need some leadership to step in and get his head straight on it. He's definitely hearing the talk, I think, from the fans.
Oh, yeah.
Chatter, because it's New York, it's going to happen. But, yeah, someone's got to get in his head and say, listen, you're a great player. You can hit the cover off the ball, obviously. These are routine plays. Just do what you always do. Relax. But like I said, if it continues, yes. Now you have the 16 stretch. Now you have the beginning of the season where you're struggling. Those tend to pile on. You don't just like slumps. They tend to pile on because you start talking yourself in your head. So we'll see if we can get out of it. But I think some Yankee fans might not be wrong. His days at shortstop might be numbered, especially with Corey Seager going to be a free agent soon. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be the big splash the Yankees haven't made in a while. Maybe they moved Gleyber back to second base where he was really successful, right? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. There's actually two things. One thing that you brought up and one thing I brought up. But I want to go with the one thing you brought up. I know I answered it already, but I want to dive a little deeper into it. And that's the Conforto freaking national headline. Holy crap, what happened in the game. Conforto leans into a pitch, wins the game on a walk-off walk that should have been a strikeout. I just said it should have been a strikeout. Umpire should have made the call. If you want to know what's being lost, and I tweeted this, but I got to say it, for the hundreds of thousands of listeners at home. What's being lost in all this? I saw a different side of Michael Conforto. And I don't mean just this cheater, oh, you got to do whatever you have to do to win type guy that I would mention before. But if there's one thing I've always said since probably like late 2015 or like early 2016, dude was always a stud. I can tell he's focused on baseball. He doesn't let things affect him. He just does his job. He has the talent, all that stuff, right? But one thing I was missing from him, like especially when things got a little bad, a little shaky, or when he started coming out of that, is the dog in him, you know, like that fiery passion, or at least just a slight, you know, attitude to him that maybe he can translate to his production and perform better, especially when things are going south. I saw something. I saw like the Joker come out of him. I saw something in him, especially when he smirked after he did this. Like, wow, I didn't know this guy's capable of like obviously making a mistake, because that wasn't a mistake. It was just a quick boom, boom thing to do. But him afterwards kind of like, hey, you play to win the game. Like, that's that. Like, no apology tour. Like, I feel like a Didi Gregorius would have gone on his knees and begged the world and say, oh, my gosh, forgive me. You know? Like, he's a very nice guy. I've seen him say sorry to a catcher after hitting him with a bat when he bombed the ball 400 feet. You know, like, there are those guys out there that are like, oh, my gosh, I hate this. Conforto just said, hey, that's the game, bitches. It's over. Like, it is what it is. I liked it. I needed to see that from him, I think. And if we get a slight heel turn from Conforto, I think I can generate his game a little bit. That's just my little piece I took from that one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, awful call. Should have been out, not a question.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're right in terms of other players would have been like, you know, I'm sorry, trying to keep up with some kind of dumb image. Or I think almost everybody would have had the exact same reaction and kind of been like, what do you mean? You know, and like kind of throwing the like, I know exactly what I did, but I'm not gonna admit it kind of thing, you know. I'm pretty sure everybody would have done the same, like, you know, I just, you know, it was a weird reaction I had, and I kind of just stuck out my elbow or something like that, where you know that they did it on purpose, and they definitely should have been out, and they got away with it. That's, I think, the reaction that almost anybody would have had. It would have been the I got one.
And that's why I don't understand why I have Yankee fans in my mentions when I'm tweeting about this stuff. More than any Marlins, not that I interact with Marlins fans, I didn't know they exist, but barking up up the tree of Conforto's a scumbag, umpires blew it, what a disgrace. Derek Jeter's been fake hit before and sold it like it was nothing else. Like it was second nature. A-Rod's run down the first baseline. I tweeted this one. A-Rod's ran down the first baseline and knocked the ball out of Bronson Arroyo's hand just so he couldn't be called out. You got things that the Yankees have gotten away with plenty of times, and they weren't sprinting right up to the umpire saying, no, this wasn't fair. Give it to the other team, all right? They took it like Conforto did. Yep. They said, woo, see you next time. You know, and it's happened in the playoffs too. So listen, the bottom line is the reason why you get the certain attitude from Met fans like myself, instead of saying, wow, what a disgrace, is because there's been so many calls and plays and misfortunes over our short, medium, and long lives of being a Met fan that have always gone against us. We are not about to reject the finally some good fortune that shouldn't have gone our way, but actually gone our way. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I like I said, I don't think anybody in the league would have had a different reaction. I think everybody would have done the exact same thing. They would have given you the little smirk and the, I don't know. The ball hit me.
Exactly. And it is what it is. Dude, if they throw a Conforto, I expect, recording today, Friday, we'll drop this Sunday, whatever. But so this is a Saturday game. Maybe they throw a Conforto. Listen, the end of the game is a walk-off. They might want to be careful, though. Because if they don't hit him right, or if they don't, or they even throw him at all, you have Jacob deGrom on the mound. That dude consistently hit 101 his last start, so you be careful. You be careful. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I will bounce things over to Yankee Land. So we spoke about one of my cash or trash questions to you was about the Aaron Hicks thing, right? What probably drives you insane is you can't come up with a reason. On base doesn't do it because he's batting third. You can't come up with a reason. How did a manager come up with the idea of, Aaron Hicks batting third, right?
Oh, I know the reason. It's because he hits those home runs. That's exactly what the reason is.
Oh, what, the pimp shots?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's because there are a lot of fans. I am not one of them. who are gonna exclusively watch Twitter highlights. And when Aaron Hicks hits a ball like he did today earlier against the Rays, where he absolutely smokes it and it's very clearly gone, and he always does like the swing out of his shoes kind of thing.
We talked about it, yeah.
And the bat drop, and it's gone, and he knows it's gone, and the pitcher knows it's gone. Though there are fans that are just gonna watch that and be like, "Man, Aaron Hicks hit that ball," and they're gonna know the name Aaron Hicks, right? So they see Aaron Hicks in the Yankees lineup, they're not gonna question it. Me, on the other hand, an intellectual, watches Aaron Hicks, and I'm like, how does this man have a job? How? Him and Jay Bruce were a combined 5 for 40 on the season as of the other night. What are we doing? We're the New York Yankees, and I got 2 guys hitting 5 hits in 40 at bats. Are you kidding me?
You are in the extreme, because Aaron Hicks does have talent, but you're right, he is not the everyday 3-batter in anyone's mind.
No.
You'd be surprised at how many people on Yankees Twitter or fandom that will like begging for him to bat third. I really highly doubt it's about the Twitter highlights that they're putting him in at third. But my point is that, all right, who do you get mad at? You get mad at Aaron Boone, right?
Should, yeah.
My manager goes and takes DeGrom out at 77 pitches in the 6th inning when he looks like the greatest pitcher who ever pitched in his lifetime. And I get mad at Luis Rojas. Now, I am still under the impression that it is Luis Rojas making certain decisions. I'm still under the impression that it is Aaron Boone making certain decisions. But are we right? Basically, what I'm trying to bring up is I don't know the efficacy or the involvement that an MLB manager or coach has on the game or the overall team versus NBA or NFL. So I think in order of like importance or the order of involvement of where they really matter goes NFL, NBA, and then way at the bottom through the ground is baseball, and I'll explain why. I know you're saying with NBA because it's like, hey, once you have superstars on your team, they coach themselves, you don't do anything. I get it. But obviously I'm a Knicks fan, so I know I can see the difference of having a Thibodeau as our coach, whether it's more so I like what he's doing in practice than what he's doing on the court. But I know it's him is what I'm trying to say. I know it's him making them play hard defense, and I know it's him making horrible rotations during the game and ruining everything my whole life. So, but like, I know that he matters. Baseball, how many teams can you go right now and say a coach or a manager has full control of the team, the lineups, the moves, or anything? I can't. Maybe a Joe Madden, but even then, I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. NFL very clearly number one. Number one. I guess you can, NBA or I'm not as big an NBA guy as you are. My first reaction when you said NBA is I was like, just put LeBron and AD on the fucking court. It doesn't matter. They're gonna win, right? You put LeBron James on any team and they're a playoff team, right? So how much does an NBA coach really matter? Obviously, that's probably a bit of an exception to the rule because LeBron James is the best player we've seen, arguably ever. It's gonna go on forever. Jordan might be better. I don't know anymore. I don't care. But then MLB. Obviously, I watch a bit more, and I think recently Joe Girardi had a big impact on the Yankees bullpen and how he managed the bullpen. And I've seen it before with, the Jabba rules. And it feels like, I guess maybe the Yankees in particular have had managers that made more of an impact. And that's why it affects me, or I think in that vein, that way, that the MLB is more important for a manager than the NBA. But
what about now? What about in 2021? I'm not talking about the Joe Torre days. I know it's like with me bringing this up. I don't mean what it was like 15 years ago. I'm talking about in today's MLB.
Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think
like, it's pretty... Who do you think does the lineup card? Who do you think does the lineup card for the Yankees every day or the Mets?
Aaron Boone.
Do you think it's Aaron Boone? You really think it's Aaron Boone?
I can't imagine there's anybody else in the Yankee system. Like, I mean, if it's like horrendously bad, then like, yeah, maybe like Hank or Hal are sitting there like just randomly throwing darts at dartboard. They're like, yeah, Aaron Hicks, he's gonna hit 3, and I'm just like,
Or Cashman, think about it.
If you're a GM,
and you've gotten certain players, and maybe you've made some either questionable or maybe smart signings, you might be pushing certain players to say, Aaron, I don't give a shit what's going on. I don't care if this guy's 2 for 200. He's getting in the lineup. He has to play. So because I've seen on the Mets, and maybe I'm seeing too much of that, but I've seen like the Robinson Canoes who has to bat third when he's 1 for 1,000 because they got him and he's getting paid too much money, or whoever it might be, or so-and-so's going to come out of the bullpen, or predetermined DeGrom can't go past 6. Like, I'm not saying all these decisions are predetermined from front office, but you got to think there's no way that an Aaron Boone or a Luis Rojas, especially in the cases when they're rookie managers, are going out to saying, I have full autonomy. When it comes to game day, I have full autonomy of what's going on today. I don't believe it.
I guess maybe you could think that way because, like, a lot of people thought that the Boone for Girardi thing made 0 sense when it happened, and it was all we've heard a lot of talk of the owners being the ones running the show, and the managers are just puppets and whatever else. Yeah. So I guess you could think that way, but I haven't seen it enough. Besides the Aaron Hicks somehow ever playing a baseball game thing, to think that anybody but Aaron Boone is making the lineup. To be fair, he also said today that he has no idea what's going on with Aaron Judge, and he may or may not play tonight. Or whenever. He may never play again. I don't know. I don't think Aaron Boone knows. So,
dude, but that brings me back to the whole Aaron Judge thing, man. It's such a weird conversation because I don't think Judge ends up shortchanging himself when his contract comes up, and I don't think the Yankees sit there and say, yeah, come on board for 7 years. Well, we can deal with this every single year for the rest of our lives. So it's going to be tough. But, dude, but that's almost my point. It's like, it seems like all the managers are always clueless. They can never answer questions straight up, and I just feel like in every decision they make, there's a gun to their back that no one can see, and it's the GM or the front office or the owners that say, you better say this, you better not say that, and you better do this, and you better not do that. I think the order in which they bring in bullpen is whether it's told to them by front office or they have to discuss it with back-end people beforehand. I don't mean they're scouts. I mean, they have to, go to Cashman, say, hey, listen, I was thinking about we go to, I don't even know, is Zach Britton still on your team? No. We have to go to Chad Green, and then we're going to go to Chapman.
Chapman, yeah.
I think they discussed this. I think a Luis Rojas goes to Steve Cohen and Sandy Alderson or Zach Scott, and last year, oh my gosh, if it was Brody Van Wagenen, I know he was running the show because it was a shit show. But I think he went to him and said, yeah, we're going Miguel Castro immediately. I'm going to bring in Loop. And they're like, no. I want you to go Diaz early this game. Like, I think they tell him. And I think he gets handcuffed, and then he has to face the media and look stupid like, oh, I hate our team. That's why I ruined the game. And it's so terrible. Like, I really do think that they don't have the power that we think. Not like the NFL, not like the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to just discuss, head coach / manager / whatever else it's called in any other sport ever. In terms of the NFL, I think it's very clear that they have the biggest impact by far. A bad head coach just fucking destroys your team. I mean, we've seen it time and time again where obviously, the clearest and most recent one that we've seen is Bill O'Brien, just fucking butchering the Texans. You can't give me an example that's worse than Bill O'Brien. I won't accept it.
Head coach or GM?
Head coach. Head coach,
my
manager.
Man, you're a Jet fan.
Dude, I don't think there's no. Bro, do you see the Texans were a playoff team, and he traded away. He traded away a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL for a backup running back. He's not even the starter this season. He was giving away picks like they were worthless. He's like, you get a first-round pick. You get a first-round pick. You get a first-round pick. I'm keeping Deshaun Watson. He's staying here. What did they do with J.J. Watt? They literally, J.J. Watt needed to leave. He had to leave the Texans because he couldn't handle it anymore, and he wanted to win. He wanted to win. He thought he could win with Houston. They were a playoff team. Bill O'Brien completely ruined it. And I understand that he's kind of an exception because he was both the head coach and the GM. But his piss-poor head coaching, everything, prowess, if you want to call it that, it wasn't prowess. He was trash. Completely ruined the Texans, dude. And I think it's the exact same thing. I think we're going to see it this year right away. We've seen it with the Jets before. I think Rex Ryan was a really good head coach. Whether he was great, I don't know. We made 2 AFC championships with the guy, and I think he made that defense what it was. I don't think that defense would have been as good with somebody else as a head coach. And I think we're going to see it again this year at Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh is going to make the Jets way better. I think everybody in the whole league thinks that. And it's exclusively the head coach. Like, the Jets personnel obviously is going to get a little bit better. We got a whole bunch of picks. CJ Mosley's coming back. But like that in the NFL, it's unquestionable how big an impact a head coach has. I mean, you go
no debate for me. No debate for me on that.
Who was it on the Giants? What, Pat? It was Pat Shurmur, right?
Yes.
And he was just the worst of all time.
Ben McAdoo before him was even worse. And no. Listen, no question. There was never even a thought that the NFL head coach don't matter. They matter more than anything. They matter more than players sometimes. I'm just saying that's a given. NBA is split. NBA is if you have the stars on your team, they coach themselves, get out of the fucking way. But on the bottom tier teams like Knicks coming up, the Nets before they've ruined the entire league, and some of these other teams with young players, the coach matters a lot. They change the culture. They tell you exactly what type. And even some of the higher ones, that D'Antoni, like they have their systems. There's systems in the NBA. I mean,
the obvious one in the NBA is Pop.
Exactly. So you still have your coaches that matter. So it's 50-50 in the NFL, maybe 60-40 in the NFL. I mean, the NBA, sorry. And MLB, I'm sorry. Listen, you say yes. But my opinion is it's the least meaningful in MLB. And like you said, you put in a bad manager, a bad coach on an NFL team, you can ruin good talent. I don't think there's anything a new coach can too much can shake up on an MLB team. That's my point. Go give us anybody. If it was Beltran or Luis Rojas, I don't think the Mets record changes that much from throughout the course of the year because I think there's so many decisions that they don't have control over, one. And two, that the best they can do is be a clubhouse guy. That's the best they can do, in my opinion.
I guess that's fair, but like I said, obviously, because I'm a Yankee fan, I have that kind of bias. Like, Joe Girardi managed the bullpen really well, and that noticeably made a difference with the Yankees. And now Aaron Boone is just kind of like a more of a laid back guy. He's like, the front office's guy, and he is a player's manager too. Obviously there's the tirade that he went on last year, and everybody loved it, and all the guys got behind it. So stuff like that does make a pretty significant difference as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. But maybe and I'm perfectly open to saying it. I could just be biased because I've had those guys where we made sure that Jabba Chamberlain only pitched however many days, and he only threw X amount of pitches, and if he hit a threshold, then he couldn't pitch for however many days, just to make sure that his arm was going to be there. And then whoever, you know what, you might be right, bro. It might be. I think you changed my mind. I'm thinking about it now. Because I don't think it was it Torrey at the time, or was it? It was definitely Torrey at the time, right? With Jabba, was it Torrey or was it Joe Girardi? I don't know. I can guarantee you, when you have a lights out reliever like that, who could you go from him to Mariano Rivera, your bullpen is set. You don't need to do anything. And for whatever reason, we decided to try and make him a starter, and it broke him forever. So, and that was very clearly from an owner or GM or somebody. Some idiot was like, we need more Jabba Chamber. We got to pitch him into the ground. He's going to be a starter. He's going to win 30 games this season. And then he was terrible. So, you know what? I think you're right. I changed my mind. Yeah.
Vice versa, though. I think Terry Collins lost his privileges of making his own decisions in the World Series when he let Matt Harvey go 9. And they said, well, we obviously can't trust you to ever make a decision, old man.
And they
You're
broke
done.
him, bro. They broke Matt Harvey.
I know.
Jabba was broken. Matt Harvey was broken. Yep. They're both broken.
You guys broke Betances. We broke
Betances and then handed him to you guys.
Yeah, here you go.
We made sure.
That lasted 1 inning. 1 inning.
That guy. We made sure that guy could never throw a ball to first base ever again. Every time there's a ground out to the pitcher, everybody in New York is holding their breath. We're not sure. The only way the ball gets to first base safely is if he hands it to the first baseman or he throws a 99-mile-an-hour fastball into the guy's chest. There's no exception.
He's also guaranteed for a wild pitch to the backstop nearly every single time he pitches, whether he's throwing 98 or 88. He just says, "I'm good for one of these," and
we were okay with that for a long time because he would throw one wild pitch in like a 1-2 count with nobody on base because he was unhittable, and then people started to realize that like his curveball almost never touched the strike zone. So you just didn't swing if it wasn't a fastball, and then he got behind in counts, and then there was a runner on. And then because he was Dellin Betances, that runner on first automatically became a runner on third. And then from there, all you had to do was wait for that wild pitch, and you scored a run on Dellin Betances, and then we just gave him to the Mets.
It happened to the Mets the other day. Betances was on the mound, dude was on first, he basically just walked all the way to third.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, we just let that. Lindor's new here, and Lindor just started looking around like, this is what we do around here? They're like, yeah, you just let him go.
Yeah, listen.
Betances not even going to look at him.
You gotta hope. You can't bring Betances in if there's a runner on base because he'll end up on third and then score on a wild pitch.
Yeah.
And you have to have a clean inning out of Betances, otherwise he's useless because, I mean, I guess if you got 2 outs, right, maybe it's not as bad. But, he walks the first batter, fuck, it's over. They're scoring a run, it's done. Just fucking write it.
There's no reason to talk about it. He's never pitching again anyway, so it's over.
Yeah, he's done so, bro. That's why, you said cash.
Did you have anything else?
Not that I can think of. What's today? Today's the 9th.
It's good because I personally like the idea of cash or trash. And I think I know we're going to open it up also to listeners. So we're going to set up a number. We're going to set up a number with for people to leave voicemails of any cash or trash statements or questions you have for us.
On Twitter, you want to respond to either of our Twitters. We tweet out every video. Either of our Twitters, the Trash Takes Twitter account. You want to send me a carrier pigeon, whatever it may be. We'll get it. We'll see what kind of nonsense. What kind of real trash takes come out?
We're not picking everything. We are not taking everything.
Our takes are bad enough. We know that I know you've heard some of the same trash takes from some of our friends that I've heard. And we get to discuss those right at the start of every episode now. I like this segment a lot. Felt good. Yeah. Felt good the first time.
Listen, we'll give a shout out to, you have someone call in, you leave your social media handle, we'll give you a shout out as long as it's a good one. And then we'll discuss, we'll answer cash or trash. Both of us will answer, and it'll be part of our segment. I think it's a lot of fun. So.
And at that point, I mean, you're guaranteed at least like 1,500 extra followers from, the clout. It's just a guarantee.
Well, we have so many listeners, so.
Dude, it's so free. I mean, just send us something, we'll take a look at it, decide whether it's cash or trash.
But either way, it should be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm excited for next week. Yo, I'm on a breakthrough too. I'm close to a breakthrough on getting better internet, which is a blessing to everybody.
Yeah, he called me before trying to set up his Google Nest Wi-Fi. He's moving on up. But he can't.
I have no plugs.
He didn't have an Ethernet cable at first. Then he found one, and then he realized that he didn't have an outlet to plug in his new router.
I feel like I'm stuck in like 1998 trying to figure this shit out, but I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna rally. I think by next week I'll be good.
I mean, dude, there were no problems this week for sure. So that's good.
Don't say anything. Don't even say anything.
Yeah, you're doomed now.
Yeah. I'm good.
Anything else big that you can think of? Yankees lost again today. They let Corey Kluber throw like 2 innings, some nonsense. NFL draft's coming up. Love to see it.
No, I got nothing big, but I got something big for everybody to keep an eye out on, and that's, like I said, the Mets, Marlins. Not just the series, but for the rest of the year, there might be heat between them. And I know you're not allowed to fight these days, but we might have a good chance of a division. We talked about rivals in the other episode, and I think we're gonna have some good back and forth for the rest of the season, just stemming from that walk-off hit by pitch.
No, I mean, Yankee fans can attest to this. One moment can definitely make a rivalry. We saw it recently with Yankees-Tigers. I don't even remember what happened, but the Yankees and the Tigers hated each other for a whole season over something. It was some kind of play-at-the-plate nonsense. Something involving Gary Sanchez. Yeah, Miguel Cabrera, I think Gary Sanchez RKO'd Miguel Cabrera in a pile or some nonsense. Yeah, bro, it was something wild.
No, you're right.
Aaron Judge kind of just stood around, and everybody tried to come at him, and he was, kind of just pushing the little kid away, you're just, why are you even? I'm 6'7", go away.
But it'll be great for baseball if that doesn't. I don't want anyone getting hurt, but I want the chippiness. I want the back and forth. And to be fair, I don't really see the Marlins being relevant this year. So if their only relevancy is being kind of dickheads, it'll be at least fun to watch. You know? So I'm cool with it. Michael Conforto's a hero, or I guess now a villain. But he's still my guy. He is still my guy. Next week, we're going to start taking advantage of the phones and people calling in.
Hell yeah, bro.
And hopefully the Mets keep winning games and the Yankees keep losing.
All right, so today's the 9th. When is the draft? Is 2 weeks from this?
2.5 weeks.
Isn't it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Random days, dude. It didn't.
Bro, next week is the 16th because I can do math. No, so it's got to be what? Who? I don't know. The draft's coming up. The draft's coming up. I can't wait, bro. We gotta do you. I don't know about you, man. But we can definitely set it up. I think we do a whole ass mock draft episode. You down?
Yeah.
Let's do it, bro. Mac Jones, probably going 23rd where he belongs in our mock draft. In the real draft, probably going 3rd. And then the 49ers are never going to win another game.
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, till next time, next week, call in. We'll have some fun. Later.
Hell yeah.